Hello, good evening. Happy Tuesday evening. You are watching Live with Gotham Quilts, and we are live. You might notice that we're a little bit different than we normally are. Normally, there's that kind of jazzy intro. We're giving it a shot without the jazzy intro. We're just gonna go live, and we'll see how it goes. So let me know. Do you like the intro? Do you not like the intro? I know sometimes when you're watching it on the replay, it's kind of boring to sit through that. But like I said, we're trying new things. I will also say to you that we had a regularly scheduled program today. We had a live show all planned out with all of the cool things we were going to talk about today. Then something happened. Then we got a shipment. And that live show that we had planned previously, boy, that got the boot. We we changed gears so quickly because this is a fabric that we have been waiting for more than just about any other line, with the possible exception of Tula Pink lines. We've been getting calls and questions about this one. So not being one for a lot of patients, and also not being one for leaving good fabric on the shelves and making you guys wait an extra week or two to actually see it, we changed gears and we made this a hand loom takeover. So if you have been following, or if you've been paying attention, if you've been on like the QuiltCon tip, you might have heard of the Handloom fabric by Tara Faughnan. Faughnan is my understanding of how you pronounce it. And so it's a beautiful fabric. Handloom is a woven fabric, and we've talked a couple of different times on this show about woven fabrics and how they're different. We're just going to take a really surface level dive today because we've done some deeper dives on woven versus non-woven fabric in previous Gotham Lives. But we're going to give you just a little taster so that you can understand, so that you could see just how different this fabric is from any of the other fabrics out there, and even any of the wovens. I've got some other woven fabrics that I'm going to compare it to. So this, we would like to thank our previously scheduled program for getting us there, and we appreciate you for hitting the brakes for one more week. But you'll get to see that one next week. Today, this is all about Handloom. So you might ask, what is Handloom actually? And first, I'm going to tell you kind of what it's not. We've got here, let me make this one a little bit bigger here. We've got here a piece of the Handloom fabric. I'm going to come back to that in just a second, but part of the appeal is not only how it's made, but these gorgeous colors. So first, we're going to talk about something that you are probably very familiar with, and that is regular printed cotton. Now, cotton, we've talked about, can have a couple of different ways of getting there. And hello, Joanne from Connecticut. Just a reminder, we always love to see where you are watching from. So feel free to put that in the comments to let us know where you are from and how hot it is there today, because today it is very sticky here in Minnesota. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Here is regular quilting cotton. And you will see it is printed on one side and not on the other. Sometimes you'll see a little design peek through, but more often than not, you have a very clear right side and a very clear wrong side. And then we'll compare that to a woven fabric. Now, I'm going to give Handloom the boot for just a second here. We're going to put that aside. We're going to come back to that, I promise. But you might be familiar with some other shot cottons. Shot cotton is more or less just a general way to say that it is woven with yarn dyed fabric. So the color, instead of being on the right side or the wrong side, the color is the yarns that are woven together to make the fabric. Shot cotton is going to take that one step further, and it is going to give you a different color in the warp and the weft. So the warp and the weft is from right to left, and the warp, there's no funny rhyme to make up with that one. It just goes the other way. But you're going to have two different colors that are meeting perpendicular right in the middle of your weave. So this is what you can see, and I'm going to kind of move it around so you can see just how flowy the approximate weight and feel of this fabric is. This is a Moda cross weave, and Moda cross weave is a shot cotton. It's made with two different threads. the warp and the weft, two different colored threads, and it's a lot lighter. It's very similar if you're familiar with like a cave shot cotton. These two are about the same weight. So it's very flowy, it's nice and very malleable, and it's just a good, nice, light weight. I'm going to compare that to another shot cotton. And this one, as I open it up, we'll move that guy aside. This one is an artisan cotton, shot cotton. And this one you can really see. The other two colors, it was kind of a maroon and kind of a dark purple. Those two colors were really very similar. This shot cotton example is we've got a dark blue going one way, and you can kind of see as I pull this out, the green. I bet I can even zoom in just a little bit on that. Give me just a second because I'm brand new with the zoom function here. I have the dial. I am controlling the dial now. So you can see there's this light green here, which is the threads, the yarns going the other way. So the farther apart those two colors are, the more shimmery of an effect, the bigger effect you're going to get. We'll zoom out just a little bit. So in the first one, they were pretty close together, a purple and a maroon, or a purple and a magenta, I guess I would call that. These ones, they're kind of far apart. You've got the blue and the green, and so you can see just a little bit of that shimmer there. And this is just a little bit heavier than the shot cotton from Moda or the shot cotton from Cave, for example. Just a little more heft to it. The yarns in this one are just a little thicker. You can tell that by when it's fraying, when I pulled these threads out, you can see just how thick those threads are. Now, interesting fact is Tara Faughnan, who's designing the Handloom, also had a hand in designing these artisan cottons. So I don't know if she did this one color in particular, but she had a hand in designing some shot cottons before Handloom came. Now, let's compare that to the Handloom, which is the reason for the show today, the one that did the takeover. This is Handloom. And Joanne says, I love the striations. Gosh, so do we. It just gives so much texture and so much energy to this fabric. The other thing I love about it is it looks and it has the approximate weight of a linen fabric without actually being one of those kind of slippery, hard to work with linens. This is 100% cotton, but it is, as the other fabrics, shot cotton. We've got the light blue going this way, and you guessed it, we've got purple going the other way, and that is where you are getting these beautiful striations. Now, the other thing that's interesting about this is it's got kind of a slubby texture, which is an ugly word for what this is, but I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see the little crags. I guess slubby is the only word I can use, and you can kind of see right there these little perfect imperfections that give this fabric its texture and signature look. And so those are made with little imperfections in the threads. It's built right into the DNA of the fabric. And so this one is one of the ones where we've got colors that are really quite different. I showed you the blue, and you can kind of see this one doesn't have a whole lot that's fraying off here, but it's got these purple threads. And so that big difference gives it a really impactful look. So that is how Handloom is made. That's how it's different. I brought out the other shot cottons just really to show you, to demonstrate just how substantial this particular fabric is as it compares to other shot cottons that are already in the market, the ones that you might have already be familiar with. This one, like I say, is a lot more substantial. It's in a lot of cases thicker. The threads that make up the fabric are thicker, they're heftier, which gives it a really nice texture to work with. Actually, I was so excited that in about half a day, and for a portion of that day, my power actually went out. But in not so much time at all, I was able to sew up the quilt behind me. This is a pattern called Heat Wave, and it was really fun and easy to come together with beautiful rectangles. Now, there are lots of colors in Handloom. This collection, are you sitting down? I hope you are all sitting down. This collection is 65 fabrics large. This is a really beefy one. I was kind of reading up on the fabric here, and the story is actually kind of funny that Tara went big, right? She was very excited about this. We are very excited about this particular collection. She went big and talked to Windham Fabrics, the maker of this, and said, we wanted to do 100. She wanted to do a nice, cool 100 because that's a good number for a collection. And between the two of them, they settled on 65, which I think is a great number. I hope we get the other 35 maybe after they see how much people love this fabric. But with a collection that large, they don't generally all ship at the same time. This is broken up into 3 different collections. We have our first one that just arrived last week. We've got the second one, which is on its way, or it's being packaged up right now, so we'll probably have it in a few weeks. And then the third one is coming in July, probably around the end of July. One thing that I want to point out to you is that this fabric line has already been selected as the QuiltCon 2027 Windham Fabrics Challenge. Now, with the Windham Fabrics Challenge, they pick out 6 colors, and you can use as few as 3 or as many of these 6 colors, but it has to be these colors. And like I said, you can, if you just want to use 3 of them, you sure can. These are the only colors that can be used, whether it's the top, the binding, the backing is completely your decision to make. You can have whatever you want on the back. And there are some requirements on I think there's a requirement on how big it can be. It can't be bigger than X by Y, but there are no requirements on how small it can be. So you can make something cute and lovely and just the right size for this. But this fabric was selected as the Windham Fabrics Challenge. Now, the fabric that we showed, the purple, like I said, that was one of the ones that has the most variation between the 2 different colors. These ones that you're seeing here, the marshmallow is just a really lovely white on white. You just get this nice linen-y texture. Persimmon and Bellini and carrot cake are all very beautiful corally colors that go together quite nicely. Juicy is going to be that pop of color, that accent in there. And then peacock is just a nice grounding blue that goes well across the entire color palette. Some of these we have in the shop, some of these we have available online, but this is one of the pieces. Some of these fabrics are in the pieces that aren't going to be delivered until July. So there's a couple of things that you can do right now with this fabric. We do on our website it'll be really clear which are the fabrics that are in the store right now that you can get and have in your hands right now. Otherwise, everything else will say coming soon. If coming soon is on the fabric that you want, that just means that it's in one of those 2 upcoming shipments. You can also reserve your bundle to make sure that you are one of the first ones to get it before we run out of these particular fabrics. It's a beautiful collection this year, and I think that if you're anything like me, your creative juices are flowing and you're thinking of all the beautiful things you can make with this. I hope I'm not going to hurt anybody's feelings, but last year's color palette was a little bit tricky to work with. There were some very unique colors in there. So this one is, I think, a little bit more approachable in the colors that were selected. So I think there's going to be a lot of desire around these 2. So you can head over to the Gotham Quilts website, pick out your bundle. We've got fat quarters, half yards, and full yards for whatever you'd like. Keep in mind, you can always order these fabrics in yardage once they're available. I think of these, persimmon, Bellini, marshmallow are the ones that we have in stock now. Carrot cake, juicy, and peacock are in a future shipment. But if you wanted to get started now, you absolutely could. And then a couple other things with this particular one. Oh, let me show you one more picture of that beautiful palette. Isn't that gorgeous? You have to let me know. Do you like this one better than last year's QuiltCon challenge? Be sure to put that in the comments or in the chat. I'd be interested to know if you're feeling the same way I am, or if maybe this is more my style. Who knows? Who knows? So with that, if you want to get your hands on the handloom fabric, we've got a couple of different options. Certainly, as I mentioned, we have some yardage. We also have a number of fat quarter bundles. Now, these fat quarter bundles, all said and done, are going to get you almost the entire collection. We've got them already pre-cut here. So this one is a grouping called Sandstone. I'm pretty sure it's called Sandstone. And you're going to get 16 fat quarters in each one of these bundles. These are available on the website now, and these are available for shipping now. We have, I'm going to need some help on the names here because I have already forgotten. This one is Morning Glory. What's the story, Morning Glory? Yeah, Sandra, it was weird. I think that's a very kind way to put it. Although some of the quilts that came out of that were very lovely quilts, even though the palette was kind of weird. This one is Mountain Meadow. Sorry. Morning Glory and Mountain Meadow. It's kind of blues and teals, really very lovely. And then we've got this one is Daiquiri. And I never realized how many I's are in the word daiquiri until I had to type it in to get it into the system. It was bizarre to me. I guess I'd never written daiquiri before. But if you would like to sew something up with daiquiri while you drink a daiquiri, this would be a good bundle for that. So that is going to get you almost the entire collection with those. So if you're doing the math at home, 16 a piece. There's going to be one fabric that is missing, and that is going to be a very light creamy. I think it's marshmallow is the color, so it's just a very white or off-white color. These ones are going to be all of the nuts and bolts of the fabric. We also have a couple of bundles that we curated ourselves. This one is called Peach because the fabrics in the line are all very food centric. So we decided to name this bundle Peach. This is going to be 5 1-yard cuts, and they are perfect for whatever you want to make, but they are perfectly sized to make the quilt behind me called Heatwave. You just need 5 1-yard cuts, and that will get you the top and a scrappy binding as well. So I can't wait to get that to the long armor and get the binding on. So this is one that would make a great heat wave here. You're going to get 5 1-yard cuts of the Handloom. Look at that, it's beautiful. And then this one is the Bright Fun bundle behind me. This one we're calling Kiwi because of that beautiful kiwi green in there. The last thing that I'm really excited to bring to you about the Handloom is we know that this is going to be a beautiful addition to your stash. It's designed to work really well with printed cotton as well as solid cotton. And so the idea is that if you wanted this as a stash builder, as something that you can just pull from, kind of like you would a solid, but it's like a solid plus. You get that texture, you get that color. You don't get a whole lot of weird color. They're pretty true for most of them. If you want the whole collection, we do have that option for you too, where we will ship out 13 fabrics for you in whichever cut you pick. We'll ship out 13 fabrics for you each month for 5 months until you have the whole collection. And we're offering that in fat quarters, in half yards, and also full yard bundles. And the best part about that is we are going to cover the shipping for you for those different bundles, no matter which one you order. And it'll be a nice little fun mail that you get for the next 5 months. So that is set up to the first bundle will be shipped whenever you place your order for that. I'm going to put a little QR code in there if you are interested in checking out the Handloom collection. The whole collection month subscription will be right there on that QR code. We'll also put the link in our description. But check it out. You'll get 13 fabrics each month, and in addition to us covering the shipping for you, we are also going to throw in a fun pattern each month. It might be a table runner, it might be a quilt, it might be a bag. Each month you're going to get something different and fun that is going to look fabulous in Handloom. If you wanted to reserve your spot for the QuiltCon 2027 challenge, or if you're a little bit curious about it, go ahead and click on this QR code. We have also linked to the rules, the instructions, kind of your guidelines for what kinds of things you might want to consider building, or what your parameters are, I suppose is maybe a better way to say that. And actually, I was just listening to a podcast the other day where they said sometimes no parameters are no good. Sometimes you need parameters to make something beautiful and wonderful. And they were talking about, I think it was like a phone back before iPads or iPod. What was the music one? iPod. That's what it is, before iPods were a thing. It was a very interesting podcast. But in any event, if you want to check out the requirements, we've got those in the listing as well. If you want to reserve your bundle, those are shipping in July. So like next month, but probably like mid to late July. We are really excited about that. So we talked about QuiltCon, we talked about that. So just to sum it all up, Handloom is the new thing that we got in the shop. We're very excited about it, and we know that a lot of you are too. Just remember, all together, this fabric is going to be 65 beautiful colors that are going to play nice together, not only with each other, but any of the solids and the prints that you've got. It'll be a great accent to add a little bit of texture. Just let the color and the texture do the heavy lifting on this. We've got 3 shipments coming up. Our first one is in, the second one is in process, and then by the end of July, I would call it, we should have all 65 fabrics in there. If you want to break it up a little bit, if you want to get some nice happy surprise mail, do consider our full collection subscription program. That's going to be 13 fabrics sent directly to you each month, and better yet, we'll send you a free pattern and we'll cover the shipping for that. So I hope that you can find something fabulous to make with this fabric. I hope that maybe it's inspired you a little bit to try some woven. If you're ever curious, we do have some tips and tricks for sewing with wovens on previous Live with Gotham Quilts, or if you want it on a new show, you just let me know, because this one was actually really fun to sew up. And I don't know if you could see it here, but I did get a little overzealous and ran over it with my chair. So there's a mark somewhere in there. Somewhere in the quilt, there's a mark. But otherwise, it was really fun to sew together. And I got to test out and practice my can't pick up method for lining up the blocks. I think it's also called the spider web. So, which actually might be another good show option too. If you've heard of the spider web pickup method for laying out your blocks and your rows, let me know. Maybe you call it something different, but yeah, can't pick up method, spider web, one of those two. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. The last thing I wanted to talk about is a little bit of housekeeping stuff, and that is our thread talks for July is tomorrow. It's as early as it possibly could be. It is we have it the first Wednesday of every month, which is tomorrow, July 1st. This one is going to be a fabulous complement to the Handloom fabric. We are going to have Michelle talking with us about how cotton goes from the field to your hands. My Handloom fabric has all kinds of things on top of it, but how it goes from the field to your hands, it's going to give us a whole new appreciation for how that fabric actually gets into our sewing rooms. I'm really actually excited. I hope you guys are nerding out about this too. I'm really excited to hear that particular lecture. It's going to be fascinating. So you can sign up using the QR code here or check out the link. That again is going to be on Wednesday, July 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's 100% virtual by Zoom. So if you haven't done one of our thread talks before, this is not a bad one to start with. We've had a lot of really good lectures in the past little bit here, and we're really excited. So with that, I'm going to put that Handloom up there one more time if you wanted to check out the collection. We've got lots of great goodies for you and more to come. With that, I would like to thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you next Tuesday, same bat time, same bat channel. That's Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, right here, wherever you're watching us. So we hope to see you then, if not before, and I really hope before.